How's everybody doing? Greetings from the Great White North. Darcy here. Tonight I'd like to cover off what I'll call Saxon Part 2. I'm gonna show you a box set that came out on Demon Records in 2016 entitled Eagles and Dragons. And first of all, I want to cover off one thing, and that's Andrew. Thank you for the shout out. I appreciate it. And yes, we do have lots in common in the music department, that's for sure. And you are the reason I bought this box set, for sure. I watched your video about 2.5 months ago, and I ordered it probably the same week that I watched your video. So I'm going to show you my box set here. Starting off with a beautiful cover by Paul Gregory. And this houses all 9 albums. They're not crowded in there in any way. And the back lists all 9 albums. This is kind of the mid part of the Saxon discography. And I thought I'm going to get this set because it seems to be the most economical way to get all these 9 albums. Even if you were to buy them all on CD, you're still looking at probably more than what I paid for this, which is I think around 150 Canadian dollars. And you'd have to do your own conversion on that. But again, it just seemed like the way to go, and I was very glad I bought it. So I'm going to show you the first album, Solid Ball of Rock. So this album came out after kind of a down period in Saxon's career. They had just came off the release of an album called Destiny, which didn't do that well. And it saw the departure of Steve Dawson and the arrival of Nibs Carter, which I'm a huge fan of Nibs Carter. And if you ever watch this video, you're one hell of a bass player. And immediate impact by Nibs. 8 song credits on here. And we'll go right into the second album, which is just, they picked up right where they left off with Solid Ball. And this is Forever Free. Every one of these albums, there's not, in my eyes, there's just not a weak track. Some of them, there's not a track that just blows you out of the water, but they're just so steady. Everything is like consistent, right? There's the back on that one. All these come with similar inner sleeves. There's the band photo. I usually will take out the inner sleeves and replace them with the MoFi anti-static sleeves. And they don't scratch. You put these albums in and out of these paper sleeves, it's just like rubbing your fingers down a chalkboard, you know. And here's the last album to feature Graham Oliver, Dogs of War. Another great album and another great cover by Paul Gregory. And track listing on the back. And like I said before, Demon Records. And they did one hell of a job replicating these to the original covers and artwork and everything. So there's the last of this era with Graham Oliver. And then after that, Unleash the Beast and Unleash Doug Scarrett. He joined the band for this album. And immediate impact in my eyes. You can really see a little heavier tone with the guitars, and you can hear the difference. And at this point in Saxon's career, you can start to see the increase in the heavy sound of the band, more to a less of the rock and roll side to a more modern metal sound, which they, if you have the album Sacrifice, that's probably the peak, and Battering Ram, those are the two probably heavier albums they've ever done. And in part because of Andy Sneap too. He's he's an awesome producer for sure, and he brings the best out of these guys too. Okay, and there's the inner sleeve for Unleash the Beast. So that's just a picture of Biff on here. There's no band photo. And this is also the last one to feature Nigel Glockler until later on, and I'll tell you when he comes back. Now this album, Metalhead, I just love. This is heavy, melodic, and I just love this one. This one features Fitz Randau on drums, and he has a heavier sound for sure than Nigel, and maybe that's why they took a more heavier direction on this album. I'm not sure, but wow, what an album. And there's a band photo, inner sleeve. And then the next one up, Killing Ground. This has a little different artwork than the CD. The CD had a type of black border around it, kind of what you'd see on the back here actually. But love this cover, love this album, awesome. Inner sleeve, band pictures there. So this also features Fritz, and I said Fitz before, it's Fritz Randau. Sorry about that. Fritz, if you're out there, I'm sorry. Alright, next up, Lionheart. Another killer album, and with some killer artwork here for sure. Now this one does not feature Fritz Randau. It features a guy named, I don't know if it's how you pronounce it, Jorg or George. I'm not sure the European pronouncing of it, so we'll just George Michael, but not the George Michael you know, but one hell of a drummer, this guy. Here's the inner sleeve. There's a band photo. Okay, now next up, the inner Sanctum. And in my eyes, out of the 9, this is the one I go back to the most. I think it's, if you want to get any of these albums, go out and grab this one. It is heavy, it's got some great songs, and also Nigel returns on this album. And again, sick artwork on these things, like just awesome. I mean, that's part of the reason I wanted the whole set too, is just to have the covers, you know, 12 by 12 instead of on the CD, which I would love to have the CDs too. I don't have them on CD. Here is the inner sleeve. This box set came in great shape too. It was packed very well. No damage, nothing like that. And here's the last album of the set, Into the Labyrinth. Sorry there, a little bit of glare. Trying to get my lighting right here. Beautiful back cover. And like the artwork on these are just amazing. I just love them. Lots of Paul Gregory artwork. And I'll show you the inner sleeve. Nice band photo. So this band photo is the band that is playing right now on Thunderbolt. So these guys have been together now since Nigel's return on Inner Sanctum. So again, love this album, love all the artwork. The whole set is amazing. And again, if you have any reservations about this era of Saxon, I assure you it's great stuff. But if you want a little preview, there is a CD available that covers these 9 albums, and it's called Baptism of Fire. So this covers the period of 1991 to 2009, which are those 9 albums, and it's on Demon Records. It comes in a 2 CD set. And what they've done, basically, they've taken anywhere from 3 to 5 songs from every one of these albums. And there's a little mini photo of each album and the songs they took off from it. So you got Dogs of War. First was Solid Ball of Rock. I think we missed Forever Free there. and it goes right through to all the 9 I showed you. And I think they take the best chunk out of each album, but even with that, I mean, they basically should have made a CD with the whole, just go out and get every CD, because there is really not much for weakness on these albums. But again, if you want a preview of these 9 and this set, go out and get this. This is 10 Canadian dollars. There's a place I order out of the States called Import, and they're usually fantastic, good prices. You can either order through them with Amazon or eBay. And either way, I mean, I usually get my stuff within 10 to 14 days of ordering it. But honestly, for $10, this is a killer preview of the 9 albums I just showed you. And there's the track listing. And you know by now that I'm a huge Saxon fan. Love the band. You know, it's almost like a good bottle of wine. You know, these guys are just, they're better with age. I love their early part of their career, and I love the mid part of their career, and now into their 60s. Man, they are still killing it. Thunderbolt is an awesome album. And I guess I'm going to have to do a Saxon Part 3 down the line. I got a little more stuff coming from them, and we'll kind of fill in the blanks at that point. Great band, which I've said probably too many times. Forgive me for that. But anyways, this box set, well worth the money, and I'll leave it at that. You guys check it out yourself, and like I said, if you want just a quick preview, go and get Baptism of Fire off Demon Records, Amazon or eBay, or wherever you guys buy your music from. It will give you a good indicator of what you're getting into. And that's it for tonight. Stay heavy.